which there's the pesky pothole round where you live. Kimbo Pete's on. Morning, Kimbo Pete. He says, I don't know if you go that way, but the hill from IKEA to Gilt Hill School is one long pothole. I call it Moonbase IKEA. Says Kimbo Pete. Oh, I love it, Pete. We've got a voice note as well.
So I have an incident myself last week, Friday morning, heading to work like 4:30 in the morning. I was pulled over by the police because I've swerved from a few potholes, which I always do at that intersection in the morning. I got to swerve from those potholes because a few days before, my wife just fell into one and popped her tire, cost over 70 quid to get a brand new tire. I'm saying I'm swerving from the potholes. There's too much of them in the road.
Yeah, that's what the voice note is saying. Too many pop tyres. You might have found a bump in your car as well. All manner of different things can happen if you hit a pothole in the wrong way. Let me introduce you now, Scott Dixon, who's a consumer and motoring disputes expert. A very good morning to you, Scott. Thank you for joining me. How much of your life is spent talking about potholes then? Is it a huge part of your job?
It is, and it's a big problem right across the country. And Admiral Insurance reported a 40% increase on insurance claims related to potholes last year. And they said the average repair cost was over £3,000.
£3,000?
Yeah, compared to £2,400 last year.
What on earth? So what's that on then? That's not just tyres, is it, for £3,000?
What they said was the increase in the cost of repairs was down to expensive technology and labour costs and parts. It all attributes to the soaring cost of everything, really, I suppose.
Goodness me, it's a lot of money. Yeah, that would write my car off, I think, Scott, and I wouldn't want my car written off for a pothole. It doesn't seem quite right, does it? So talk to me about what happens then. So you can claim then, can you, off a pothole?
You can, but the local authorities are making it increasingly difficult because they've moved to what's called a risk-based approach on inspections and repairs. So it's watered down the policies and it's made it more difficult for motorists to lodge a claim. And in some local authorities across the UK, you've got maybe a 1-2% chance of succeeding with a claim.
Is that it?
And you can't tell me that the roads are so good that the local authorities are not liable for almost 100% of all claims being lodged. And
wow.
The problem is they rely on, they use claims handlers that use a default position saying that they cannot be held liable, they can only be held liable for potholes that have been reported and cannot be held responsible for every pothole on the road. That's the default position that claims handlers use to reject virtually all claims.
Oh, I remember this. So if they don't know about it, then they can't fix it. So therefore, it's not their problem. So it's almost encouraging everyone to report the potholes that you see.
Yeah, well, what they're trying to do is get you to claim on your insurance. And why should you? The roads need to be fit for purpose and they need to be inspected to a set time scale. And there's a statutory responsibility held on the local authorities, and they're just trying to fob motorists off to go down the insurance route, which is totally unjust and unfair.
What would be your top tips then? So, say, for example, you're driving out this morning. It's a beautiful morning across Nottinghamshire. Hit a pothole, maybe get a flat tyre, bit of damage to your car. What would you suggest?
First thing you need to do is report it, and you can report it via fixmystreet.com or via the local authority website. And if it's safe to do so, take photos. Maybe use a bottle of water or your foot for scale and depth. Crucially, the width of a pothole is irrelevant, and I've proved that in court. So what you need to do is get your evidence, provide a sketch with your claim to pinpoint the pothole, and you can use Google Earth as well to help you with that, because the local authority will ask where the pothole is. Because of that many, they'll need your help to find it. Get an estimate for the cost of repairs and provide any copy receipts, and submit a freedom of information request to the local authority to ask for at least 12 months of inspection records. So what you're looking for is how many times has the pothole been reported, when was the last repair made, and did they fail to repair it within the statutory time frame? And also ask for a copy of the temporary and permanent repair specification and criteria, because the problem is, Verity, potholes are rarely repaired properly. So So you're looking for the criteria and specification that the local authorities are meant to adhere to gather your evidence and prove your case.
Okay. That's brilliant. There's some fantastic top tips there, Scott Dixon. Thank you for joining us this morning. Consumer and motoring disputes expert. A lot of his work is in potholes, as you were hearing there. And it's a headache. It's a pain. We're loosely speaking a little bit jovially about it this morning, of course. But it's a right old pain.